Your dog might be stressed right now, and you wouldn't notice, not because you're inattentive, but because stress in dogs doesn't look the way people expect. It doesn't start with barking, it doesn't start with destruction, and it definitely doesn't start with aggression. It starts quietly, almost invisibly, in behaviors most people see every day, but never question. Because stress in dogs is not just an emotion, it's a shift in the nervous system, a change in how they process the world around them. And once that shift begins, the signs don't scream, they whisper. One of the first signs is something so subtle, it almost feels meaningless. Your dog yawns, but not because they're tired, they lick their lips. But there's no food around. They suddenly start scratching, even though nothing is itching. These behaviors are not random. They're called displacement behaviors, and they happen when your dog is trying to regulate internal tension, when something feels off, but they don't know how to respond. But stress doesn't just change behavior, it changes the body. When a dog is under stress, their system releases cortisol, a hormone designed for survival. Short term, it helps them react, but when it stays elevated, it begins to alter how they move, how they decide, and how safe the world feels around them. And this is where another sign appears, not in what they do, but in how they move. Your dog pauses before approaching something familiar. They hesitate in situations that never used to matter. They move forward, then stop, then move again, almost like they're thinking twice about something that used to feel automatic. This isn't disobedience, and it's not stubbornness. It's conflict, a moment where the brain is split between curiosity and caution, between wanting to engage and not feeling completely safe doing it. Studies in canine behavior show that chronic stress can reduce a dog's confidence and increase avoidance patterns over time, even in environments they already know. And the more this state repeats, the more it becomes their new baseline. And then, the signs become harder to ignore, but also easier to misunderstand. Your dog starts panting, but it's not hot. They follow you more than usual, or suddenly avoid you. They can't seem to settle. They lie down, then get up, walk around, then stop, as if rest itself doesn't fully work anymore. This is not random energy, it's dysregulation. When stress stays in the system for too long, the body struggles to return to baseline. The nervous system stays slightly activated, even when there's no real threat. Research in animal behavior shows that prolonged stress can interfere with sleep cycles, increase vigilance, and reduce a dog's ability to fully relax. And this is where many owners misread the situation. Because these behaviors don't look like stress, they look like personality. He's just more energetic. She's just being needy. He's acting weird today. But what you're actually seeing is a system that hasn't turned off yet. And when that happens repeatedly, something deeper begins to change. Because over time, stress doesn't just pass, it accumulates. What starts as small, almost invisible signals can slowly turn into something else. Reactivity, avoidance, even behaviors people later call problems. But those behaviors didn't start as problems. They started as signals. Signals that were quiet, subtle, easy to ignore. And this is the part most people never realize. Dogs don't hide stress, they express it in a language most humans were never taught to see. But once you start noticing these patterns, everything changes. You begin to see the pauses, the small shifts, the moments where your dog is trying to cope instead of just behave. And that awareness alone can change how safe your dog feels around you. Because in the end, it's not just about training, it's about understanding. And if you stayed until here, thank you for paying attention to what most people miss. Your dog already is